Yes, yes, yes. Welcome everybody to another smoke session. We back in the building. We got some news coming up for you. Just some updated type stuff. We kind of been touching back and forth on this particular topic. Uh, P Diddy, man, and these indictments. New defense. New things is coming up. So we gonna just get into that. We ain't gonna try to hold y'all too long. You know what I'm saying? Probably about an hour or two at the most. So we gonna definitely keep the show going. Y'all already know what time it is. Y'all sit back, relax, chill, right quick. You know what I'm saying? Get your libations together, get your smoke together. Shit, just get your mind together. If you don't do neither one of them, you know what I mean? We in the building, so we appreciate y'all coming chill with us for a little second. You know what I'm saying? I am the host with the most, Silent Child, aka Silent Child 17, Godson. And I got my co-host with me today.
He got on the spot.
Yes, indeed. And our other co-host will be popping in later on. So, without further ado, this is an episode of Blunt Talk. Nola. P did it. Indictments, new allegations, and defense. We're gonna talk about it. So let's get right into these other newses, P Dot. What you got for me, brother?
But what I got for you is short, but it shows a lot. And hold on, let me get it set right quick. Now I don't want to be half stepping with this. It's short, it shows a lot, and it goes into uh, why respect is such an important thing, right? Especially when you dealing with children. This little one little guy in this video, I don't know if I'd have been able to hold back on this. He kept looking like he wanted to see how far he could push it. So check this out right quick.
Record me all you want. He's a fucking little scumbag.
Okay.
Just like you.
Okay.
I don't care. You can tell your father's gonna go to jail too.
Okay.
Because I have video of him driving.
Okay.
Watch.
Okay.
Watch. You little fucking bitch. That's what you are. A little fucking bitch. Where's Daddy in Oklahoma? Where is he? Your father Jake wants nothing to do with your stupid ass. You fucking psychopath. I'm stupid? Look at yourself. Nobody wants you. Your own mother sent you to a fucking hospital. Don't you realize that? I didn't want any kid. And I told your nutty mother that 8 years ago. Because I saw how she acted with you. That's why, you fucking dumbass.
Birdie, are you okay?
Daddy fucking Dan's going to jail because I videoed him driving.
Yeah.
Remember the fucking alcoholic who drove with you drunk in a fucking car? You dumb fuck. Record me all you want.
Oh. Shut up.
I wound up hitting the
See,
wrong
she
button.
almost got caught. See, Joe, you don't get in no trouble now with with your workforce playing around with us now. We appreciate we definitely appreciate you coming through. Catch us on the replay or something. We don't want you to get in trouble, Doc. Sneak it down in the thing or something, man. Get you some earbuds or something. But shout out to Shorty Reed. This is crazy though, P. You could go ahead.
So what's good? Nah, did y'all notice how little daddy was steady swinging on the man? And the man, I get it. He was upset for whatever reason. But little daddy up in there just steady swinging that little Swiffer sweeper mop. I almost would have thought that when he broke that little piece off, that dude grabbed it. I
Dang.
thought he was about to whack the man with that stick, bro. I ain't gonna
Aggravate.
lie.
He was aggravated. His last was aggravating the shit out of him. P. I ain't gonna lie. That did look like a pet peeve. That looked like something that probably would have.
Yeah, it looked like he
So,
just was doing it. And then by the mama recording it, it's like he already heated for whatever the situation was that the
mhm,
dude, the big brother had done did. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
The mama standing there recording. He like, I don't care. You can record. I'm not doing nobody nothing. I'm just fucking about whatever. But nah, you standing here instead of trying to take control of little man, right? You
Right.
just gonna stand there and let him keep swinging on the man. So if that man would have hauled off and probably daddy with that stick, then what? You know what I'm saying? What would have been said?
Mm.
Because at this point, he had every right to whack the shit out of him. I ain't gonna lie. He had every right to take that stick and go straight across the back of his behind with it. You know what I'm saying? That's disrespect. It not only is it disrespectful, it just shows that you have really no true discipline with that particular child. Like you just let them do whatever, and that's probably what dude was fussing about. You just let
Yeah,
them
he
do whatever they
definitely.
want to do.
Yeah, it
You
sounded like that
know?
was Shorty Reed saying too. Is definitely a seems like it was about the disrespect. It seems like it's going through the household because, like you say, the mama not even trying to stop the little one. At the same time, he's going off for a ride. He unloading on the bigger brothers. It's
Right,
like
because the bigger
it's one of
brother,
those fade up moments that we really don't have the details before it, but you could obviously see he's frustrated, and the little dude he like basically like, yeah, you talking to my brother, you picking up my brother, so I'm just gonna swing this mop thing at you. I ain't gonna say nothing. So she's recording, and then it sounds like he said she got a channel too. She she she
yeah,
she do YouTube and all that.
she
Okay, see, so
yeah.
that
She
adds
like, I
on.
don't care. She like, I don't care that you put this up on YouTube. I don't care. I just want everybody to know that these children is disrespectful. And not
He called
only,
it, you little psycho. What did you do?
bro, but think about it. They and then the way he was fussing about the daddy was like the daddy out there drunk driving, not supposed to be behind the wheel,
Yeah,
but
that
he
was
said it popping up
crazy
by
work.
the house and shit.
That
It's
was
like,
crazy.
oh,
He, I
I
mean,
understand.
he
He was letting it
wait.
all out. He
I'm
was
not. Yeah, I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm laughing at how that man reacted and all that shit came out his mouth at one time. Like he unloaded he unloaded on Dennis the Menace, bruh. He let Dennis the Menace have it. Probably be in there
bro.
bragging about your daddy and all that crazy ass shit. That man don't want to hear none of that shit, man. He say your daddy be tripping. Play it one more time. He don't want to hear what he say about his daddy and shit. That nigga
Oh
say he know
yeah.
about your daddy. Yeah, he in there stunting and shit. That man say I got time for this shit.
Record million what? He's a fucking little scumbag.
Okay.
Just like you.
Okay.
I don't care. You can tell your father's gonna go to jail too.
Okay.
Because I have video of him driving.
Okay.
Watch.
Okay.
Watch. You little fucking
He called
bitch.
her a scumbag too.
That's what you are. A little fucking
He
bitch.
talking to her now.
Where's daddy in Oklahoma? Where is he? Your father Jake wants nothing to do with your stupid ass. You fucking psychopath. I'm stupid? Look at yourself. Nobody wants you. Your own mother sent you to a fucking hospital. Don't you realize that? I didn't want any kids. And I told your nutty mother that 8 years ago. Because I saw how she
He hitting that
acted
man with a Swiffer.
with you. That's why, you fucking dumbass.
38 years
Oh shit.
Daddy fucking Dan's going to jail because I videoed
Yeah,
you
he was about to
driving.
choke slam
Remember
me.
the fucking alcoholic who drove with you drunk in a
Oh.
fucking car? You dumb fuck.
He said he told her 8 years ago he ain't gonna have no kids. So where the children come from then? If you was with
He,
her,
from the other day. He said how
right?
she acting with them. He said, nah, baby, that's all right. We don't have to have no kids. We could just raise these spawn
And
seeds
try to do the
of
best
Satan.
we
we could just raise open handed together, and hopefully they'll stop
can. They'll be alright.
killing little animals in the backyard and shit. I gotta go pick up dead bird heads and shit. Cause this little psycho is in the back, stabbing them with our forks. Oh, I don't know,
Little
man.
daddy
He
was
he
like,
was
man, I don't give
aggravated. He called the mama too. He went off on the mama too. Hey,
a cause
hey,
she
hey, now you.
like I'm trying to figure out What? Wait, because he said your own
Ooh.
mother sent you to
Boy,
the
them white
hospital. So
boys, them white
did
dads
she
will
have
click
your
out.
daddy admitted into the hospital or something? You know what I'm saying? Did she have him admitted into the psych
That
ward
what he
or
said. He said your own mama had you and sent to the hospital. So what does that mean?
so that draws the question of why dude was kind of like amped up because of all they had going on. Like that seems like a lot. But the big brother and the little brother is probably what drove him over the edge. Like the big brother out there doing all kind of hinky dink stuff, and the little brother following behind him. He trying to rein everything in, and she probably doing the bare minimum on her end, and expecting him to keep trying to fight the good fight. I don't know, man. That just
I
that's
know,
a
right? I see
lot
you were trying
going
to go
on in
somewhere,
that
but you
clip.
was like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah, that clip was a lot, bro. And I'm still trying to
Oh
decipher
no.
like why was little dad instead of looking back at the mama like you see he ain't even really hurt. Man, that man would have hung
Like,
off
look,
and
ma,
shot his
ma, look,
brother
I'm
in
gonna
the
get him. Look,
chest.
ma, I'm gonna grab the Swiffer and start hitting him, ma. Look,
That's
that would
crazy
looking like to
work
me
right
like
there.
some lip protection, and she ain't saying nothing because she in the back of her head, she probably want to
Uh
hit him
huh.
too.
Look, all you keep hearing is uh huh, That's your only answer. Like you don't have no defense for none of what's being said to you right now, and is not an answer. So like, what are you doing? Like, why are you still not trying to shed some light on the situation, so to speak? You know what I'm saying? Like, get a man something to work with.
If the
'Cause
situation was the other way around, would the man be wrong for filming?
nope. At least in our mindset, nope. But stop recording me. You know them Karens. They be quick to holler that. You don't have permission to record me. You in my house. I have every right to record you.
Hey
They
man,
be quick to throw that one up there, bro. But like, I don't know. Like, what do you do if it's the other shoe? If the shoe was on the other foot? Like, if my children was out there doing, and you the lady that didn't want kids, but you like me and you got with me, and we having a relationship
appreciate you,
or
Shawty.
whatever,
Catch it
and
on the replay.
you know
But go ahead, P.
what do you do? Like, how do you handle that?
Mm,
Because if the shoe really was on the other foot and it was his children doing it,
mm.
what could she say?
Okay, now put it like this. Let's say they're still her kids, right? They're her kids, and he's the stepdaddy. But he's the one recording. Would that be a difference in that? Would that situation be excuse me be treated different?
I don't think it should, but like I said, these Karens they be flipping out and they be expecting nobody to put them on blast for their behavior in the situation.
Like put
But
it like
he
this, like the
now,
man.
now
Like
he
say like
flipping
this. Let me
out
give you a
because
scenario.
the
Let me give you
situation.
a scenario, Pete. Let me give you a scenario right quick. Let's see.
I
Okay,
feel like
he
the
came
door
in
swing
there.
both ways.
Hold on. Let me give you the scenario. He's switching. Just switch it a little bit. She came in there and she was getting hit by the little boy and talking to her son about him being a psycho and all that. You feel me?
Ah,
Stepdad just comes in the house and noticed that she's doing all this. He has a YouTube channel, so he decides to record and shit. Would the reaction of like how you see how the man was just staying directly on the little boy who he was talking to, ignoring the little one, uh kind of told her about herself right quick. How you think the woman would have reacted if that was her getting, ridiculed
locked
and
on with the sister.
disrespect? Yeah, like that. Would it be a difference? And I'm not saying that so you could change your mind. I just want you to know exactly what I was saying.
I would be hoping that it would not be a big difference, but it should be because at the same time, I think fathers should hold their children up to a certain standard. Like you don't hit no woman. I don't care what she mad about, what she's doing. You know, you let me deal with that part of what's going on or whatever like that. But if that was Lil Daddy, if Lil Daddy was my child swinging on, like it just say, you know, they not married or whatever, his old lady or you know my old lady or whatever like that. I think it would have been a different scenario with me being a parent and seeing my child standing there constantly hitting this lady with this Swiffer sweeper just because she's upset at the situation,
That's what I'm saying, Pete.
right?
It's her child. It's not your child.
Right, it's her child.
You mixing up the
So she's
yeah.
supposed to step in and stop that little one from doing that because at
Let's
the
say
end of
like
the
I
day,
walk in there and he hitting on his mama is what I'm saying. He not my child. He hitting on his mama when I walk in there. And I say, look at this shit. And I just start recording. Like, what the fuck? You just
yeah,
said I'm the man.
they'll look
I'm
at
the
you
man,
like
so
you
ain't no
down bad for that. Yeah, they'll look at
and
you
you
like
gonna
you
let that
down
little
bad
boy
for
hit
that.
her, probably tell me all kind of shit. I don't know. I was just asking though, because
But that's
that's
the
how the
thing.
news be
They'll look, they,
sometimes, you know? They be like that sometimes. They be real defensive when a man is not stepping up and doing something, even if it's not his children, he's still there and he still has a responsibility. So sometimes they be kind of harder when the when the scenario is vice versa.
yeah, and that's the hard part about the whole thing. That looking at that clip, like, what would you have expected him to react like? You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
again,
Yeah, he was way past
her letting
disrespectful
that
because
happen shows that she didn't give a fuck, right?
that
Her
nigga say
letting
you
that
little
happen shows that
psycho.
she just did not care
That's true.
about the situation with the son, the little son, the situation with the stepfather being an alcoholic and steady driving and coming by the house and doing all kind of things. So she really didn't give a damn.
So that was the
He
actual
cared.
father. He was the stepfather. But you
Yeah,
still
he
in the
was
same scenario.
yeah, the actual father. She didn't care about none of that. You know, she didn't care that this man is potentially endangering their children's life, allowing that teenager to be driving a car because he's drunk and incapacitated or whatever the case may be, right?
But you
She
in the kitchen
showed that
fussing
she
with
was,
me though.
huh,
Got your little brother. I say, but you in the kitchen fussing with me though, and got your little brother hitting me with Swiffer sweepers and shit.
going ham,
So
right? But I'm
yeah.
not. It's not like I say. If dude would have hauled off and took that super sweeper stick once, like the first hit, yeah, I'm gonna ignore it. The second one, I'm gonna ignore that one too. You done broke this bitch hitting me like that, and and once he took that stick from him, wow,
He had a
he
push
should
broom
have
at
got
first.
popped.
He threw the push broom at him. I don't know if you noticed that he had a push broom at first. He pushed the
Yeah, that's what it looks
he
like.
threw the
Yeah,
push
it
broom.
was the same thing.
Oh, he pushed the. Listen to me. He went grabbed the Swiffer. I don't know if you paid attention to that. He had a push broom at first. He threw the push broom at him. The daddy caught the push broom. He went and got the Swiffer. We started hitting him with the Swiffer. That's what broke. The little handle came off the bottom. Play it one more time.
All
One
right,
more
hold on.
time. I'm gonna move on. Look, we 20 minutes in, people.
I gotta go find it right quick. Hold on.
It's right there. I can see where I'm at. You want me to play it?
No, because you got it on your screen. I had took it down. Hold on.
Hey, Cornelius, what? He's a fucking little scumbag.
Okay.
Just like you.
Okay.
I don't care. You can tell your father's gonna go to jail too.
Okay.
Because I have video of him driving.
Okay.
Watch.
Okay.
See the
Watch.
Swiffer?
You little fucking bitch. That's what you are. A little fucking bitch. Where's Daddy in Oklahoma? Where is he? Your father Jake wants nothing to do with your stupid ass.
He caught that bitch. Oh, that is the Swiffer. I thought that was a
Psychopath.
push broom. That's my bad.
I'm stupid. Look at
He went
yourself.
grab that bitch
Nobody
again. That's why I
wants
thought he
you.
was too. He went
Your own mother sent you to a fucking hospital. Don't you realize that? I didn't want any kid. And I told your nutty mother that 8 years ago. Because I saw how she acted with you. That's why, you fucking dumbass. Daddy fucking
So that man was
did
looking
go
out
to
for you,
jail 'cause
look.
I videoed him driving. Remember the fucking alcoholic who drove with you drunk in a fucking car? You
We
dumb
really gotta
fuck.
look at the way that's why the little children be acting the way they be acting. because nobody's doing nothing to reprimand
Mhm.
him,
And you
right?
getting on the one that's trying. Yeah.
Right. And
You
the
mad at him because
littlest
he don't
one,
want to let you go do something probably. It's some other shit. Yeah, P.
right.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So
That's
the
why I thought it
littlest
was too, but
one,
that was my bad though. I thought that was a push room at first. That was he went back and got that motherfucker.
yeah, he
That
went
dude
right.
there.
The dude, like, he done
Let
threw it
Dennis
at
the
him. Dude
Menace
done
cutting
caught
up.
it and put it to the side, like, bro, go ahead now.
Yeah,
Like,
alfalfa
ain't
ain't
no
shit.
way.
He tripped. He's
So
the minded business.
the littlest one, bro, I ain't gonna lie. I probably would have hauled off, whipped his little ass, then go get the big one and whip his ass. Like, if I'm gonna do anything, I'm gonna whip all y'all ass, everybody ass in the house. You know what I'm saying? Cause them good dudes probably need that dude, like for real. They probably didn't have nobody telling them nothing. Think about it. The mama worked, he worked,
Mm-hmm.
stepdaddy, the daddy alcoholic out there getting drunk, driving charges and shit like that. So who's raising them? They feel like they could do whatever they want. Nobody could tell them nothing. And so when
Those.
dude finally had enough and he
Mm.
started going off, I'm gonna record you. Okay, well you can record me, put me on YouTube all you like, baby. I don't care. You know, because at the end of the day, these your children, and I told you I ain't want to have kids eight
You
years
gotta
ago.
at least, yeah, you
So
gotta at
that
least put way
teenager
more
probably
effort than what
was.
you doing. Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out if you told her 8 years ago that you didn't want to have children, and y'all was together. The little one ain't no older than 6 or 7. So if you told her 8 years ago, you mean to tell me you let her go out and have children, and you raising them?
Hey, bro, it's a lot to unpack, bro. Was they already dealing with each other and, they stopped or got back together? I don't know, P.
Yeah,
I
that's the thing
don't
too,
know. Is the younger one his son? I don't know, P.
bro. That like I said, that clip had a lot
Cause Lil
going
Round
on with
look
it.
like he don't look like he
Seven,
about 8.
6 or 7,
No, not the
about that
smallest one.
8 year
The
mark.
one that was standing. The one was standing there. I will give him about 10 or
No, the
11.
one that was standing there as a teen, like a preteen, teenager.
Okay, so
I'm
I
talking
think that's
about.
the one he was specifically talking to. That's why I say I don't know if the
Yeah,
younger one is actually his, because then that would make sense in the 8 year span, because she would have
right.
been had the older one. He would have been in his life probably since he was like 2 or 3 or some shit like that. Maybe even 4 when they first got together. So I don't know, people. It's, that's definitely a point with that one though, because if it happened before time with the younger one, yeah, you already fell into a damn a damn twilight zone if you went for that relationship after she done already had a baby on you while y'all was dealing with each other. That's even more crazy. That's another fucking layer added onto that crazy cake. Motherfucker better get it together, bruh, because you got a father in your life and you got a mama. And if you keep listening to your mama, accepting that behavior, yeah, it's gonna be like this nigga right here.
Jail, man? What? You sound like a bitch. Bitch? Man, I ain't worried about jail. Shit, man, I don't give a damn about going to jail. Nigga, take me to jail.
Take me to jail.
Shit, lock me up.
Lock me up.
Throw away the key.
Throw away the key.
I ain't afraid to fuck somebody in his ass.
Hey,
Whoa. This fool is tripping.
I'm out of here.
You on your own there, bro. Y'all, come on, man. Y'all ain't never been in the shower with a man and you see the suds roll down the crack of his ass and you just turn. I'm fooling y'all, man. I was fooling y'all. Those was jokes. Woo! Woo!
Yes, indeed.
Woo.
That's a
He better wake
I
up early,
right.
P. Why he's still young? He's still young, P. There's still a chance for the young man. So I'm just saying, bro.
How they say, there's always hope.
As long as you're that age, you're that young, you can stop yourself from these depravities. Okay, but my other news is kind of going to go straight into our segment. So that's why I'm glad we had a good conversation about yours first, because we're going to jump right into the segment once my other news. And mine is just the update on the alleged murder of Tupac, B. And I really want to have a discussion with with y'all, just to have a full breakdown of the Tupac murder and the new stuff that's been coming out, with evidence with this man about to go to trial and stuff like this. So yeah, we gonna
Right.
yeah, we definitely gonna be jumping into I found a news clip on what he has to say about this after all these years, because at one time he was he we were told that he admitted to the murder, but as evidence has been showing, he never actually said he did the murder, but he said it
Right.
came from the back seat.
Now look,
So
before you get
no,
into
no, no,
that,
go ahead, go ahead, go
I
ahead.
honestly, well look, I thought when I thought when you sent me the videos when we were talking about the Tupac stuff,
Hmm.
I thought that's what we was gonna be talking about. So all my videos is about the Tupac cover up.
I
Ah,
mean, well, if you want to present that in a way where it could tie into possibly Diddy having something to do with that, then it's cool, because uh a lot of the stuff is coming up now that he's going to jail. Let me see, down that he's in jail and he's getting these civil suits on him and stuff too. So people are connecting other people with not only, this trafficking thing, but a possible hit on Tupac.
Tupac, right?
So
So,
like I say, if you want to blend it and mix it into, what you're learning about it, with the case, it's cool.
well, nothing I have to present is actually talking about the situation with Diddy. So, whatever you do have, I
Hmm.
could probably piggyback off of that with the information I had as a young man at the time of the said incident, because it really was a lot of speculation even
Hmm.
way back then that
Right.
uh, that circled the air about the death of Tupac. So the
Okay,
information I
cool.
give you will be like from timeline to timeline.
All right. We'll do it like that then.
Okay.
So here we go.
Man charged in Tupac Shakur's murder is speaking out from behind bars for the first time. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis insists he was 300 miles away when the rapper was shot. Now he's pointing the finger at someone else. Chief investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky has this ABC News exclusive.
We ain't meant to survive because it's a setup.
The death of rap legend Tupac Shakur nearly 30 years ago became one of the nation's most notorious unsolved murders.
Hey, Keith, Metro Police, come over here.
Then in 2023, a breakthrough when prosecutors charged this man with ordering the hit, the only person arrested for Shakur's murder, who now tells ABC News authorities have the wrong man.
I'm innocent. I ain't killed nobody, never did ever kill nobody. They don't have no evidence against me. Came and put me in Las Vegas.
61-year-old Dwayne Keefe D. Davis says the night of the murder, September 7, 1996, he was in Los Angeles, 300 miles from the Las Vegas intersection where Tupac Shakur was gunned down.
Prove that I orchestrated.
And I want to stop it right there, P. Dot, because I just wanted you to I wanted that to simmer in your brain too as well. He he
Hmm.
he admitted that he was in Vegas through the document and the book that he came out with. So
Right.
this is the dilemma with the whole situation. So I'm not taking nobody's side or none of that shit. I'm just bringing forth the
It's all
information that where
raw.
people
It's
know
all
what's
discussion.
going on and what's it saying what. You see what I'm saying? Because if we just go by what the police say, then we're not really getting a full detail of what happened and what's going on. These people been
Right.
doing interviews that's been around this situation to tell their sides of the story. They've been taking money from these interviewers and telling their sides, and a lot of this stuff is not matching up, especially from uh people that were close and was supposed to be doing the security around this whole situation. And
Correct.
the connections with Keefe D and his people, knowing that that situation had just happened, could that have possibly been a setup? Could this thing be a smoking gun for Pete Diddy to come out and say some shit? We gonna get into
Right.
all that, Pete, but I'm gonna let it roll.
Man charged in Tupac Shakur's murder is speaking out from behind bars for the first time. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis insists he was 300 miles away when the rapper was shot. Now he's pointing the finger at someone else. Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katursky has this ABC News exclusive.
We ain't meant to survive because it's a setup.
The death of rap legend Tupac Shakur nearly 30 years ago became one of the nation's most notorious unsolved murders.
Hey, Keith, Metro Police, come over here.
Then in 2023, a breakthrough when prosecutors charged this man with ordering the hit, the only person arrested for Shakur's murder, who now tells ABC News authorities have the wrong man.
I'm innocent. I ain't killed nobody, never did ever kill nobody. They don't have no evidence against me. Came and put me in Las Vegas.
61-year-old Dwayne Keefe D. Davis says the night of the murder, September 7, 1996, he was in Los Angeles, 300 miles from the Las Vegas intersection where Tupac Shakur was gunned down.
Prove that I orchestrated this. You know what I'm saying? Your key witness orchestrated this. They top witness is the lead suspect.
The defense pointing to
we gonna
someone
get
else,
to that, Pete.
Reggie
There
Wright
he is.
Jr., a
We gonna
former
get to
cop
that,
and
Pete.
security guard for record mogul Suge Knight, who was driving the car Tupac was in the night he was shot. Wright has denied any involvement and has said it bothers me because I was in charge of possibly protecting this young man. And prosecutors say Davis incriminated himself in his 2019 memoir, Compton Street Legend, and in this on-camera interview.
You said the shots came from the back. Who shot Tupac?
The keeper for the code of the streets. It just came from the backseat, bro.
Davis now says his previous admissions connected with the shooting were made under duress and for money, claiming he did not write his own memoir and was fed information by police.
I shouldn't have said nothing.
See?
You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have said nothing.
A nigga look like he could write a
I'm
memoir.
innocent, man.
Pete,
Prosecutors
Let's go.
declined to respond directly to Davis's new claims. They say their case is strong and they expect a conviction.
Out on bail, fresh out of jail, California dreaming.
Tupac Shakur is one of the best-selling rap artists of all time, 75 million albums to date. Most of those sales posthumously, thanks in part to hits like California Love.
West Coast.
Davis's arrest followed years of fan-driven theories that an intense rivalry between East Coast and West Coast rappers sparked the fatal attack on Shakur.
And I'm being held against
Here we
my
go.
will. I'm supposed to be out there enjoying my twilight. God got my back, and God will see me through this.
Yeah, Diddy.
The judge has not yet weighed the defense's claim of a different suspect. And right now, Diane Davis is scheduled for trial
See?
in February. Diane?
Chief Investigative Correspondent.
So yeah, Diddy he definitely was running his mouth and his ass couldn't cash. Nah,
Right. Check
you
that
you
shit.
must have assumed you must have assumed that you had immunity, and you must have didn't read that fine print. Because now, if this is possible that you didn't do this, then you have turned into the fall guy, brother. You are the escape. You are the scapegoat. You are the escaped goat that they're going to pull back into arrest whenever they say this is going on. Now, there's a lot of blotch stuff that I heard too that went with his story, though, P.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, the memoir writing and him actually admitting to taking money for these interviews and stuff. Him actually being coerced by the police. This is on tape. I heard this a while back on one of those documentaries they did. I think it was the murder rap or Tupac and Biggie murder, something like that. Because it was one of those documentaries where they were kind of, talking about both situations, and this police had came up to him. I'm gonna definitely get the names and stuff and get everything straight. But these are some of the things I witnessed as far as him contradicting himself with saying he did do it.
Right.
but not only saying that it's a slighted, it's a slighted confession. I'm gonna say it's a slighted confession, but it was enough for them to say, okay, yeah, we got him, you know, and let's shut this case, and boom, we found the murder, boom, boom, boom. So okay, so how does the head of your security team don't know about the situation? Why wasn't he there in the first place? And they also tying him into Vegas at the time, but he wasn't at the event.
Also was said.
He said it himself, Reggie Wright. Reggie Wright said it himself. He was the head of security at the time. He said he was in Vegas, but he wasn't on duty at the time of the fight. He didn't feel like he had to be there, Pete. That's what he said.
But that's what I'm saying. Or so was said. You see what I'm saying?
So was said from who though? I'm telling you what Reggie White said. No, this it ain't come from nobody else. So it ain't what.
No,
so
I'm talking about Reggie White. Like if you saying that you had no reason to be there, right?
And he had his gun, and he had his gun with him, because that was a question asked to him. Now, did you know that the security was told not to have their guns?
Why wouldn't security have their guns? You see what I'm
this
saying?
is a part of this is a part of the this is a part of all that, Pete. Yes, this is a part of that.
Right, because that wouldn't make sense.
All them. He told them not to bring their guns. Yes, two high-profile celebrities at that. Suge and Tupac. So, no, go ahead.
Right. So now let's try to piece that one together, right? If Suge is one of the high-profile people, right, big time player in the music industry at this point, and then you got the second biggest name, well, the biggest name artist out right now, right? Think about it. This, besides Mike Tyson, Tupac was the biggest artist out at that point. Not Nas, not Big, not Jay-Z, not nobody, right? Tupac was the biggest record-selling artist out at the time, aside from Michael Jackson, but he had nothing to do with none of that shit, right? So we know Tupac.
No, yeah, you're saying in a rap scene. I get you. I'm with you.
Right. So,
well, yeah, Reggie, Diddy looking for your player. You got some explaining to do.
we got this.
Yeah, you went silent. Oh, okay, there you go.
We have high-profile people who have had an altercation in Las Vegas at the Mike Tyson fight, leaving
in
the altercation. And our security is not supposed to have their service weapons with them. And now, mind you, that could have only have been said prior to them going to the event. Hey, y'all can't have them guns.
Right? Exactly.
Now,
this was the excuse. Just to add on. This was his excuse. This was his excuse. This was his excuse, right? He said, you know, they be tripping in them clubs and shit about people having guns and shit. So y'all don't bring y'all guns tonight. So the security was kind of fucked up, Pete, because they done been to Vegas before at least 4 or 5 times. And his words were always to have your piece on you, because these motherfuckers be tripping. So now all of a sudden, this time, he tells them, nah, don't bring y'all peace. Now the dude saying that the security, more than one security guard that worked for Reggie, said that at the club it was cool, you know, we didn't really think nothing of it because we usually have, you know, some ammunition and shit or some stuff at the club. So by the time we get to the club, we at least be, you know, we at least have some protection for them when they in the clubs and stuff. We could, you know, fully do our jobs. Since you think we're gonna get, harassed and shit by the police at the MGM, so you telling us don't bring out shit. So at least we'll have him there. He got on the interview and said they don't be having no guns in the club. He
Which
said
I would
basically,
suspect that
I
that would
thought
be
the
a lie.
police. He said I thought the police, they was gonna get harassed, and I told them it wasn't a, he shrugged. He basically shrugged it off like it wasn't nothing, Pete. That night though, any other night, he cautious as hell. He tell them to bring their pistol everywhere, Nick. You hear me? He even your boy said how he said it. He said, "Hey, you got your shit on you, right?" That's how he talked to his security. You got your shit on you,
Right.
right? This is a regular day, Pete. Asking them, do they got their shit on them? Now
Everybody
this
locked and
odd
loaded,
day,
ready to go.
yeah, this odd day, he don't say none of that. He say, y'all make sure y'all don't bring it. So, that's just weird in itself with that. So keep it
It's
D,
definitely weird. But that's why I'm saying, if we so
or
Reggie
if you
Wright was
didn't
the
do
head of
this,
security, right? Which
yes,
says to me, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. If I'm in charge of protecting these people's lives,
right,
and I know as head of security that there may be a chance that someone is going to try to kill my client.
mm-hmm,
No matter where I am, no matter
mm-hmm,
where we go, we're
mm-hmm.
armed to the teeth, right?
Okay,
And it doesn't
gotcha.
matter if you, because I could see
You're
if you
supposed to be
say,
sanctioned, right? Because you're a security team, correct? Shouldn't the police
right,
understand that? Oh, I'm just asking because you know me.
right, and then you're licensed by whoever you're licensed through
Oh,
to
and he's
carry
also a
said
police
weapon.
officer too. He was also a police
Oh
officer
wow!
at this time.
So you
Oh yeah,
know the fuck you supposed to
oh yeah.
be armed and ready to go.
LAPD like a
There's no,
motherfucker, P. Dot. He LAPD like a motherfucker. Sure was. His daddy was the captain or something like that. His daddy
that's
is Reggie
crazy
White
word.
Senior. He
Right.
actually didn't take the job. He was supposed to take the job. Well, Suge really asked the daddy because he saw how the daddy and them was getting down. They used to rob dope dealers and shit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy work right there.
Okay, I'm telling you, we gonna get into it. That's why I say I won't take a week, 1 hour weeks and do a whole, what I'm saying, little rundown. Because it's a lot to dig into, and I don't want it to overlap into what we trying to discuss today. But it's definitely some stuff, P. You're gonna be definitely
Cause
surprised
this
about
a,
what you knew about it versus what you're hearing now.
right, cause like what I knew about it at the time when it all came down, like Tupac had been making album after album, and one of the songs that he made, and this was after he got shot the first time, "Death Around the Corner," right?
Hmm.
And I thought it was odd at the time that you make that song. Even after you done got shot once, right? Remember he got shot, went to the hospital. They was able to save him or whatever like that, and he discharged himself out the hospital, and then he went right back into the studio making his music, doing his thing.
Yeah, he had to go
When
to
he
jail and
made
everything
Death
for that
Around the Corner,
sexual assault charge and all that shit, forcibly
right?
touching the
He had a
buttocks.
sexual
Yeah.
assault charge. Then not too long after that, he did. Matter of fact, he did "Me Against the World," which "Death Around the Corner" was on that album. And then shortly after that was the
Death Around the
incident
Corner was,
where
yeah, me. Yeah, it was Me Against the World, and
and
then All
that,
Lies
that's
on Me.
right before he went to the West Coast, right? But
Yeah, sure
what I'm
got him
thinking
out. Yeah, and
about
then
is
he dropped All Lies. Yeah,
then he dropped "All Eyes on Me."
yeah, when
So
he got out.
what I'm
Yeah.
thinking about when it comes to that is there was a situation that happened in New York
Yes, sir.
after the shooting, but right before he did "Death Around the Corner," and that situation was a catalyst for him writing that song because he knew then that somebody had tried to set him up, right?
Mm.
The setup was already taking place because they failed in the first attempt to kill him. So now he like, wait a minute, somebody really trying to set me up. And at first, it seemed like it was because of the beef he had with Big. But then him and Big squashed the beef, right? Then when he did, I think it was hit him
Let's
up.
watch the beef.
Was it hit him up? I think it, yeah. When he did hit him up, he wound up dissing a whole bunch of other New York orders behind the shit that took place after he did Death Around the Corner. When he did All Eyes on Me, when he did hit him up, that's when he really started letting it be known, like, if any one of y'all got something to say, like, cause when he went to jail, that's when he was saying like a lot of them rappers had something to say about the shit that was going on and this, that, and the other. So when he made hit him up, he wasn't necessarily making diss tracks about them. It's just that he was mad because a lot of people had something to say, but didn't have all of the information into what really led to the situation. So he wound up squashing beef with, Nas and Big. I don't know that he really had a chance
Yeah.
to squash the beef with Jay Z or Chino XL or what the other little ones was.
P, I think
There
you
was somebody.
jumbling up the timeline though. And another thing too, not to stop your flow, you probably don't know about this, but he didn't really, Didi saying it too. He never really squashed no beef with them. All this happened at round. Not everything you say happened at the same time, but around the time where you're saying about All Eyes on Me, it was a gap between when he made Why You By the Window? What's wrong, Dad? That was
Yeah, that's on the Me Against the World album.
all right, right. You're right about that. You're right about that. But when you say
Right.
that he started to squash the beef and all that, no, remember, Snoop Dogg and them was already tearing down buildings and shit. This is with the New York shit you was talking about. This was this was around that time where all that shit done already happened. The man that went to jail and shit. And motherfuckers act like they wasn't fucking with him and shit. So what happened was
Mm.
so what happened was Suge wound up getting him out. And that's where it came into
Yeah,
where he was
Suge
asking
posted the million
Big.
dollar bill for Snoop. Yeah.
Because he was asking Big before this happened, basically, well, what's going on? Because at the studio that he got shot at, the first attempt was like a fake robbery type shit. And Big, supposedly, of the streets, a dude of the streets, he basically was just asking him, you know what I'm saying? What's going on, bro? You ain't gonna even tell me what's happening. So he was mostly mad at Big about that, but they was partners with other people too, P, that was involved in shit, that knew shit on the streets and knew what was going on, but everybody's acting like they ain't know what the fuck happened to the man. As if, just some random niggas came in the studio and robbed him and shit. Now, those people's stories are different too. When they talk about
Right.
just that particular date, people's stories is different. People
Yeah,
saying
you
this
right
happened.
though.
People saying they had police out there. Bruh, when you hear some of these interviews, you're gonna be like, well, when all this happened?
Right. But, well,
I'm
one
telling
one
you,
of the
though.
videos I did see, they were talking about two bicycle patrolmen
Bicycle police. That's right. We gonna get into
pulled the
that.
car over.
Oh,
So
we gonna definitely
my
get into that.
mind spazzed out right quick. Like, how
Hmm.
far could you have gotten on a fucking bicycle? Because they said shortly after those two cops left, that's when the shooting took place. So how far could
Right.
you really have gotten on a bicycle?
Not that fault, because remember a cop came and hovered over Pac, and Pac told him "fuck you." I don't know if you remember that part right before he passed out and got him to the
Right.
hospital and shit. So he
But
didn't
that's what I'm
he didn't
saying
get
though.
fucked. Yeah.
They didn't get very far, so why didn't
No,
they respond? And it's just, and then all of this was supposedly happening in gridlock traffic, meaning no car can move forward, left,
that's
or
right.
fucking right.
So
I
why they
don't
made it seem
believe
like
that though.
exact? So look, so think about it. But look, if you don't believe that, then you believe the story that's been told to you the whole time, as if it was just Tupac and Suge riding down the street and nobody was there. They don't even talk about the security that was tailing them, or they tell you that some girls waved at him and was telling them, "Hey, Tupac," and he was hanging out the window and shit, and the nigga saw him and they shot him. So that's what I'm saying, Pete. Where is all these people? You just said they was at a Tyson fight, Pete. So how wasn't there traffic? Think about it. If you don't believe there was traffic, then you believe there was nobody on the strip after a Tyson fight. It's just something to think about, you know. So
yeah, it's a lot to unpack with this.
it's a lot of to unpack, and think about it for your own mental. Yeah, think about it. If it was you,
Outlaws, you got Snoop, you got the
Dog Pound.
LBC,
Yeah, Dog
right?
Pound.
You got the Dog Pound, you got Dre, you got Snoop, you got
Warren G had a hell of a story about this shit too.
You got too
I
many
showed y'all that
motherfucking
last time.
voices. Too many voices jumbling in together saying what they knew about a situation that half of them wasn't there for.
Exactly.
And that's what's so fucked up about the
So
whole
think about this
situation.
then, Pete. If you wasn't there and all this shit happened in the matter of hours that y'all say y'all found out, how y'all found out that fast?
Nah, that's
Wasn't
where
no
the other
wasn't no
bullshit
social
come
media and
from.
shit. Wasn't no Instagram and all that shit back then, Pete. You see what I'm
The
saying?
only thing, the
So
only way you can find out that type of information that fast, and the real West,
Peach
them
ass, what's up?
them walkie talkies, them two ways.
Okay. We gonna get into well, we got into
Yeah.
that as well. But so you remember that part when I was showing that about how you had one of those, Snoop, and that was for big time security. Suge said that was for security. He wasn't even supposed to have one of those. Warren G got drunk on Drink Champs and told it all. He said, "Yeah, man, nigga showed up in the Rolls Royce with the neck tail joint, the motherfucker chirping." So Suge basically saying, "Say, bro, yeah, well, we need to talk about that because you wasn't supposed to have that. That's
Right.
suspicious."
And that's why he's saying he gotta have a sit down with Reggie White about that, because the only way Snoop would have had that is if it came from Reggie
Through his
White.
ass. All right, so let's get into this, P. I ain't gonna even hold the people no longer, bro. Let's get into this, bro. This is our first part of the segment for today, y'all. P. Diddy is in some boiling ass water. It's probably from fucking with all them witches and shit. I don't know. But we about to break loose on this. So I'm gonna give y'all my first video, and then P, I want to get your commentary on what you heard. So try try not to run through it, and just kind of pinpoint on some stuff that kind of stuck out to you.
All right.
So the main gist is that Combs is being selectively prosecuted because of his race. That's the argument put forward by he and his defense counsel. That what makes this case so, as they say, unprecedented.
Oh, I apologize, y'all. My bad. Right quick, just to give y'all a quick breakdown of what I'm showing. This is P Diddy's defense. His defense is claiming now, because y'all doing this to me, y'all kind of railroad me, and it seems like you're picking on the black guy. So he's basically throwing out the race card to the jury and telling them that the way y'all are prosecuting me, it's very racist, and it's actually what you're doing, this trafficking charge that you're trying, because it's the trafficking charge specifically that he's trying to get took off there. So he's basically saying that this charge has been used to subjugate black men back in the G, even even in the inception of the charge. Remember, we talked about that a while back with Jack Johnson, Peter, with him and his white wife going across state lines, and the police was using that against the boxer, basically, because he was into them white girls and stuff. So they would use that to say trafficking, and it has been used since then. And he's basically saying, y'all don't prosecute nobody white like this. Y'all ain't doing it. So I found something on Law and Crime. If y'all want to watch the whole entire thing, the link is in the description. And we're also going to get into some Discretion TV and his theory on what he believes and some of the contradictions that he found out. I want to present that too. And his link will be in the description as well. So let's get into P. Diddy's defense and saying that he want this trafficking charge pulled. Let's go.
So the main gist is that Combs is being selectively prosecuted because of his race. That's the argument put forward by he and his defense counsel. That what makes this case so, as they say, unprecedented is that, quote, no white person has ever been the target of a remotely similar prosecution. And really, the focus is on count 3 in the indictment, transportation to engage in prostitution. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to actually read you what this charge is from the superseding indictment in this case. It reads, from at least in or about 2009 up into and including in or about 2024 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Sean Combs knowingly transported individuals in interstate and foreign commerce with intent that the individuals engage in prostitution and attempted, aided, and abetted and willfully caused the same, to wit, Combs transported, aided, and abetted and willfully caused the transportation of female victims and commercial sex workers in interstate and foreign commerce on multiple occasions with the intent that they engage in prostitution. Now, Sean Combs argues that these allegations, the ones that I just read you, have never been brought before under this specific statute, namely the Mann Act, or what it used to be referred to as the White Slave Traffic Act, which, as Combs describes in his motion, has a, quote, very troubling history as a statute with racist origins, that it was used to target black men and supposedly protect white women from them. That's a quote from Sean Combs' previous filing. And Combs explores that in his filing, explaining that the specific statute that makes up count 3 in his indictment, it was enacted by Congress in 1910. And that, quote, the statute was born out of hysteria that white slavers were preying upon young women, coercing them into prostitution through threats, intimidation, and force. Combs continues, the statute's target was black male sexuality, and from Jack Johnson to Chuck Berry, the statute's most notorious prosecutions targeted famous black men accused of deviant sexual behavior. This case continues the trend. So he starts by arguing that the charging decision in this case by prosecutors shows an improper bias, that there was a discriminatory effect and a discriminatory purpose. Keep those two in mind. We're going to talk a lot about it in a minute, a little bit later. And he argues that the use of escorts, that's common in America today, and that the actual service at issue in this case is a legitimate business. And although the name is redacted in his filing, he says this is widely known, it is widely popularized, this service. And he points out, by the way, that neither that service nor its CEO, nor the escorts have ever been targeted by federal prosecutors in the Southern District before. They're not being criminally charged. And yet, he argues, no other person, including no white person, has ever been prosecuted under this act for hiring male escorts from another state. But he claims he is the one who has been singled out.
What you think about his defense so far, P?
It's interesting. It is interesting because you have never really heard about, other than what's that lady name? It was a lady and she was charged with running a prostitution ring under the guise of an escort service, and basically doing the same thing that they accusing P. Diddy of, but that was only one case. Now, to sit down and think about it, this said escort service, or the law that he's trying to, the ruling that he's trying to challenge, or the charge that he's trying to challenge, he also has to think about it like this. You were charged with that based on the fact that you were transporting people and drugging them, right?
Allegedly.
Drugging them, allegedly drugging them and forcing them to have intercourse. Also alleging same thing. He's calling me and I'm doing the show. But that charge does seem like it is a very difficult charge to try to work your way out of, right? I'll see that because
Mm-hmm.
it it,
Okay.
it it sounds it sounds as if that is the charge that they're going to go with, right? But that's
Mm-hmm.
not the main charge. Now, if they do decide to go ahead and let that charge go, then that means all the other charges that come down to charge three are also up for scrutiny, right? So
Okay.
him getting that charge thrown out probably is not going to happen because
Mm.
of the things that you are alleged to have done that led up to that particular charge.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So let me go into Seg 2 and let me get your thoughts after this one. Here we go.
Argues no other person, including no white person, has ever been prosecuted under this act for hiring male escorts from another state. But he claims he is the one who has been singled out, a very successful and powerful black man. Again, selective prosecution. And then he argues, look at other cases. Look at other high-profile white men who have or allegedly have engaged in similar conduct. And he cites former New York Governor Eliot Spitzer, who ultimately wasn't charged for allegedly being involved in an international prostitution service. So Combs' lawyers argue this is all circumstantial evidence of discrimination. And to further prove that, they argue the way prosecutors have handled this case shows a bias, that they have gone out of their way to humiliate Sean Combs, to prejudice a future jury pool with their pretrial publicity of the case. We're going to talk a lot about that a little bit later on, too. So in the end, they argue either count 3 should be dismissed entirely, or in the alternative, they are asking the court that they order discovery regarding the government's charging decisions, meaning allow us to investigate why and how the government decided to bring this charge or these charges. Quote, to obtain discovery on a selective prosecution, a defendant need only produce some evidence of discriminatory effect and intent. In other words, a defendant will satisfy that preliminary burden by adducing, quote, some evidence that similarly situated defendants of other races could have been prosecuted but were not. And that standard is easily met here. So that is the defense's argument. Throw out count 3, or at least allow us to investigate it about why it was brought, because there might be some racial undertones. By the way, little sidebar here, imagine this.
So basically, yeah. Hey man, y'all ain't prosecuting these white boys like this. What's going on, man? Let's get this shit together because I'm black and none of this shit ain't happening for none of them, man. You know, it's kind of like the pinpoint game. So I'm kind of with you with this one, P. I don't know how far this is gonna fly. It's kind of a weak argument to say the type of stuff that you is into. At the same time, they're fishing for things that could possibly be a loophole for how he was caught in these actual things. And plus, like you said, with the other charges, a lot of those are civil anyway. You know, a lot of them are civil. They haven't actually been picked up by the state. This trafficking one is a big one, so that's why it is. Well, it actually is a big one. It's not the only one, Pete, but it is a large one, because I think this one is the one he could get the most years for. And he definitely, him and his defense definitely want this charge pulled like a mug, because they know they can, deal with the other stuff with the civil. Most likely, we will see more things come forward if the judge in them allows them to go and investigate. Like he said, either y'all do that or let us at least investigate on how did y'all get all these charges on me and all that. You see what I'm saying? Give
Or what was
give
your
us
basis for the charge? Because they have to
right.
have a
That's what he's
base
saying.
reason
That's what
why
he.
they
That's what
want those
they're
charges
asking.
for.
Right. So
Right.
that's what they're kind of asking for. If that don't go the way they trying to pin it out to be. So that's a part of it. So we're about to listen to a little bit more of that, and we're gonna see now what the state is saying, P. We're gonna get into what the state is saying about him saying that this is racist and stuff, and this is their response basically. So let's jump into that one.
the prosecution, the government, has responded. And I'm going to start with how they start out in their filing, in their response, writing, quote, offering no more than his say-so, the defendant makes the outrageous and illogical claim that federal prosecutors brought one, and only one, of the 3 charges against him on account of his race. Tellingly, the motion fails to mention that the other counts of the very same indictment allege that the defendant engaged in horrific and repeated acts of violence and sexual coercion, harming multiple victims over the course of multiple years. That context alone defeats the motion. And the prosecutors argue that race didn't play a factor into the charges that Combs faced, but rather he's facing these charges because of his, quote, own violent, abusive, and criminal conduct. And what is that conduct? Let's get a little more specific here, because what makes up the racketeering conspiracy charge, the sex trafficking charge, the prostitution charge? Well, the allegation is that Combs engaged in a pattern of abusing women, verbally, emotionally, physically, sexually, for years. And that included transporting women and commercial sex workers and coercing and forcing women to participate in sex acts for his own desire, that he would use drugs or threats or power to get them to do this, to get them to do what he wanted. And how did he carry all this out? Allegedly using his power, his resources, his business empire to carry all of this out. And his practices are violations of federal laws. So in other words, the government here explains that count 3, the count at issue, that transporting of people for purposes of prostitution, is exactly what makes up the core of this case. Quote, the indictment thus makes clear that the transportation alleged in count 3 served the defendant's abuse of victims. That count alleges that the defendant transported the same victims identified in earlier paragraphs as victims of abuse. That count also alleges that the defendant transported commercial sex workers, which corresponds to the allegations in earlier paragraphs that the defendant coerced female victims to engage in sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. All 3 counts of the indictment, thus, on their face, charge a common course of conduct arising out of the defendant's abuse and sexual exploitation of multiple victims. Okay, so they're saying it's all connected here. So what does the law say about all this? Well, as the government explains, a defendant who is challenging the government's decision to prosecute, so not challenging the charges, but challenging the motive behind deciding to charge a defendant. In order to challenge that, the defendant bears a very heavy burden. And that's because prosecutors, quote, retain broad discretion to enforce the nation's criminal laws. And they cite case law in support of this. Now, I have to clear something up here. Selective.
Stay saying, say, bro, you talking about black? Nigga, this shit is connected to everything you already on camera and all this shit doing. It's connected to everything. So it's kind of like what you were saying, you know, that's why I agree with that as well. Because now the state is going to use that against him. And I knew they was going to do that once he pulled the black card, Pete. They was going to, that's what they're going to say. Yes, I mean, but think about it. If you just let's like if you don't even know, that's gonna be my argument to the defense. Once you pull the black card and you start naming other people, they're gonna start looking at all those other situations and does it connect with what you're doing and how you did it? Because you're gonna bring their name into it. So now let's see if it actually matches what you're accused of and what they were accused of, even though the charges were probably around the same. So if I was Pete Diddy, I wouldn't have thought that was a smart move, but I don't know how good of a lawyer or what side they own of how they doing this. So, you know, I would definitely see them trying to push a little more since he brought this up. And man, I mean, I'm kind of stuck at this point to just wait and see now what's going to happen, basically, because this is what he's saying and this is what they're saying. So far, Pete, just give me a quick synopsis of how you think this can possibly turn out for him using the black card. Knowing what you know, what the defense, what the state said. I'm sorry, go ahead.
What the state is saying goes back to, you know, what I was saying, dude. You can't possibly be seriously trying to say that we don't prosecute white people like that, right? There has never been a case brought before the federal court system, unlike yours, if that makes sense. Nobody has the abuse of women, the drugging, the constant parties where these said individuals that are making the allegations against you were physically forced to engage in sexual acts with escorts for days on end. Because remember, they would open them up with X and all that other shit to
Yeah,
make
the
them
freakos. Yeah.
right, right. So I've never heard in my 47 years of living, have never heard of anybody with these types of charges or allegations placed against them. So using a race card at this point is pointless. It would be different if they said you were uh, embezzling money, right?
Hmm.
That would be different because there have been major coverage of people with money embezzlement, fraud, wire transfer fraud, bank fraud, all that. Then yeah, I could see you saying that if that was the case, right? You're not prosecuting white people like that, right? But you are on video dragging a woman by her hair while wrapped in a towel back to the hotel room after you kicked her and stomped her a couple of times. So how
And
can
they say
you
that wasn't
then
even much the
therefore
full video too, Pete. That's coming out too. That then
right?
came out. Say that wasn't even much the full video with the Cassie thing. They say that was that was tampering as
That was
well.
just only a
So
part that they could show on
yeah.
TV.
No. It's some tampering type shit that they done discovered.
Oh, so
Somebody
they're saying that that video was tampered with.
him and CNN, bruh. You probably got to go look it up because I didn't really get into the article, but yeah, CNN and some shit about the releasing of the tape and how much of it was and yeah, P. It's crazy. I'm just adding on to what you're talking about though.
But now listening to what the prosecution has to say, it makes sense for them to say that because again, everything that count one, count two, count three. Look at it. They're putting count three at the bottom of, essentially at the bottom of the list, right?
And I will show a little piece of the document just to show people the names because we're gonna get into that as well. The new names in the
So,
indictments.
so when you think about why do you want count three removed? Count three was the, even though all the other stuff that they could possibly have, the prosecution is saying count three is the crucial piece that ties all of that together. From
Hmm.
count one, count two, and all other counts beyond three. All of that ties into count three. Now, if they really wanted to do it big, they should have put that as number one on the list, right? Because if I put count three up as number one, which is the one of the other things that led to, like I said, count three led to all of that. So I would definitely would have had count three labeled off as number one, and then all the other charges that follow behind. But being that the racketeering shit took place before the sex trafficking and the prostitution, or the financial abuse, the physical abuse, and all that took place before the actual sex trafficking part. I see why they did it that way. But it makes sense to say that count three is the integral part of why your charges are the way they are. So using a
Yeah,
race
that's
card
why they
at
want
this
to get
point
pulled.
is pointless.
Yeah, that's why they
It's
want
really
to definitely
pointless.
get it pulled. So like you say, I understand why they want to get it pulled too. Just speaking on it, how you explained it from the state side, I can see why they want to pull that. So let's get into seg 4. Here we go, Pete.
In broad discretion to enforce the nation's criminal laws. And they cite case law in support of this. Now, I have to clear something up here. Selective prosecution is not a criminal defense. In other words, Combs' attorneys can't argue in front of a jury in May that prosecutors brought this case because they're racist and therefore he should be found not guilty. It doesn't work that way. Arguing the prosecution hasn't met their burden of proof or that everything was consensual, those are defenses. Not this. But as a separate matter, as a way to get the charge potentially thrown out, you can argue selective prosecution. But as you can see, as I'm mentioning, it is not easy.
Here's another
what do you
loophole.
have to prove as a defendant in order to claim selective prosecution? Well, as the government lays out, quote, to establish a claim of selective prosecution, a defendant must present clear evidence that the decision to prosecute not only, one, had a discriminatory effect, but was also, two, motivated by a discriminatory purpose. It's like what we mentioned before in Combs' motion. Effect, purpose, and we're going to get a lot into that. So the government argues that Combs' motion fails to meet either prong, and we're going to break down why they say each prong doesn't work. But I thought this part was interesting before we even get into the prongs here. The prosecution writes, the defendant spills much ink detailing the origins of the statute charged in count 3, but he cites no law indicating that the legislative history of a statute has any bearing on either prong of a selective prosecution claim, and he makes no attempt to connect that history to the applicable test. Basically, they're saying all that stuff about the history of this law and all that, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant to the analysis. So it made me wonder, are the prosecutors suggesting, yeah, you got a point, the law does have a troubling history, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter in terms of the analysis. So let's talk about the analysis. Let's talk about what a court's going to consider or potentially consider. Again, two-prong test to show selective prosecution. The first prong, discriminatory effect. So to prove discriminatory effect, a defendant has to establish that others in a similar situation to Sean Combs have been treated differently, like they weren't prosecuted and that Combs was, that he was singled out. And the prosecutors first address Combs citing other situations, like the Elliot Spitzer case that I mentioned before, or Combs mentions this as well, how clients of that escort service that he may or may not have used, the one that's at issue, that they weren't charged under the Mann Act. And then also Sean Combs referenced this, the scandal surrounding Jerry Falwell Jr., who allegedly had another man have sex with his wife as he watched. And again, those are similar allegations that are made about Combs, that he brought people into his sexual relationships and all that. So Combs cites that one for the idea that couples sometimes have a third party join them. And that's not a crime. That's not a crime that's been prosecuted. So prosecutors looked at all that and they say, none of these people are in the same situation or facing the same kind of allegations as Sean Combs. They don't have the same kind of aggravating factors like in Sean Combs' criminal case. So first, prosecutors explain how Combs is accused of sex trafficking multiple victims through force, fraud, and or coercion, and coercing them into commercial sex acts, including with male escorts. That's why he's accused of violating the Mann Act. This is not like any of those other incidents cited by Combs. Second, they argue Combs carried out the transportation of victims by using force, fraud, and or coercion in order to cause those victims to engage in commercial sex acts, and that this was all part of a larger, broader pattern of racketeering activity. In other words, the Mann Act, or the White Slavery Trafficking Act that Combs has an issue with, count 3, the one he wants to throw out, that charge stands together with other underlying crimes to make up the specific racketeering charge that he faces. You're smarter than you look, player. And racketeering conspiracy, what Combs is facing, is that there was an agreement to further a criminal enterprise. And prosecutors argue here that the transporting to engage in prostitution, count 3, stands together with other underlying crimes of the criminal enterprise, like arson, narcotics distribution, bribery, obstruction. It's all part of the same thing. There's a connection here. And that this alleged conduct overlaps. And in the same way Combs used his power and his resources to allegedly build an illegal criminal empire, he also allegedly used his power and resources to fund transporting people for purposes of prostitution. That's the allegation. And all of that to say this, quote, nothing in the motion, nothing in Sean Combs' motion, suggests that Spitzer Falwell or the other clients of the escort services transported escorts as part of a pattern of racketeering activity, or that they committed any other crimes whatsoever during the same period when they engaged in commercial sex.
I knew they were going to do you that, Pete.
Further widens the already vast distance between the defendant's conduct and the examples he raises in his motion. Third, prosecutors argue that Sean Combs is...
All right, that's enough. God damn it. Them people saying, bruh, that's like you were saying, basically. You know, like what you alluded to. The prosecutor is going to use all that. They saying that's what they got, P.
That's right.
He trying to figure out, well, let us investigate. Let us investigate to see where all this come from. Nigga. You thinking we got you with all this. This is what we were saying. So your job is to prove that we don't. You can go investigate what you want, but once it come down, the state better have all that shit together. I know that's right, P. You hear me, dog? All this shit they saying, bro, they better have that shit lined up. Because remember, it's gonna look bad for them. Yes, it's gonna. The whole shit gonna crumble. Because you're saying a lot of shit about this man at the same fucking time. Not saying he didn't do none of this shit, but you know how it go in the court, bro. You have to fucking prove it. Now, you're not gonna ride on people's sympathy if this man is truly guilty. Do your fucking job and get it done. But I'm telling you, Pete, if these people ain't got that shit together, man, the man can get off with this shit, bro. Because like you said, with the racketeering shit, they're tying your trafficking into the racketeering, brother. You bringing up Splitzer and Sitzer and Alka-Seltzer in them. Bro, them hoes come to them. Or they was at their office and shit when they was... What the...
That's right.
See, Diddy, you wanted them to come with you, nigga. You had a whole sex maid service, nigga, to clean your hotel rooms up before you... You said, and you admitted this in the interviews. In interviews you did. See, that's what I'm talking about with them interviews and stuff, P. They don't even be knowing they be ratting on themselves.
Yeah. Getting up there talking cash money shit. Just don't know.
I'm talking about stunting, man. Like baby now.
Stunting like I ain't never had shit.
He's a big
but
time.
But you admitting to the crime.
Yeah. You know I got my maid service. Yeah, they cleaned up my rooms for me. Is that true, P? Didn't you get your maids to clean your room? Yeah, I got a personal maid service. Yeah, what's wrong with that? I like stuff to be clean. I like to see what I'm saying? See how she can bite you in your ass?
I like everything clean.
You might as well say that now. You just said you're bringing your employees with you. They not at the house. They with you.
Now think about it like this. What if the actual hotel...
Yeah, he was bragging. He was on his cash money shit.
Housekeeper service going there.
Bling.
They're going to be taking pictures. They're going to be like, man, look what this nigga did this room. It's rubbers and fucking lube everywhere in this bitch.
Baby Earl. Oh,
you know,
man, it's getting crazy. Yeah, it's getting crazy from the stuff that you heard versus how he's coming at the situation now, right? So do you think he can actually? My question to you is about the what this man named that selective. What do you call it?
Selective prosecution.
Selective prosecution. How far do you think they could possibly go with that? And what do you think about the selective prosecution bit?
I don't think that.
Do you think do you think it's going to be enough?
No, it's not going to be enough because, like they outlined, you have to prove that they are picking or falsely making stuff up to try you on, right? Because that's essentially what you're saying. They falsely making this up. They just doing this so they can pick. They picking on me
and I'm
because I'm the black dude.
Yeah,
right?
I'm a black dude, and y'all making up all this shit on me.
They're not picking on you. You caused the bully. Well, look,
the civil
you
suits,
wanted to be a bully.
Yeah,
Look,
the
you
civil
wanted to
suits
be
as
a
well.
bully, and now a
Hmm.
bigger bully is on your ass, right?
That Rob,
Now,
what your boy was who was writing the music for him? Right quick, P. Not to cut you off.
ooh,
The Rod or
Rod Smith or
Rod
something like that.
Rod. That Rod indictment was crazy. P Diddy, come on now, P Diddy. What that man said, round.
You
I'm just putting that
had
into context when you said that just now. So,
somebody diddle this man's butthole and recorded it, right? You had somebody businessman
Rod
over
did say he did.
and let
Rod did say
another
he has
man stick his
recordings of
finger
stuff. Yeah,
in
god
the man's
damn it.
butt. So you telling me that they picking on you
Cause you
and
black.
other people who were associated with you that got brought up on the same type of charges you getting brought up on against you right now, done pled guilty to, right? You telling me that them people lying on you or making this up when the same people you had at the parties, Cuba Gooding Jr., who admitted at first he denied it, but he went on ahead and pled guilty to the shit because he
I
knew he did
forgot
it.
about Goody. I forgot about Lil Crazy Round. Yeah, get full of
You
that
feel
coke
me?
and go get crazy with it. I forgot about him. He did
And
say some
look,
shit.
that the music producer was the one that alleged Cuba Gooding Jr. was one of the people that diddled his butthole at the party, and they had it on tape. Cuba
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
he not even facing the charges for that music producer yet, because that's one
Civil
of the
suit.
other people
Oh,
that
that's
brought
civil. That's
charges
what I
up
was
on
telling
him.
you. That's
Yeah,
the civil shit got him in this shit. That's what I was alluding to earlier. When he
hmm
said about when he said about the selective prosecution. I'm like, nigga, this it's not that selective, P Diddy, because
it's
you got
not.
civil suits. you got you got about
You don't
12
already
civil suits
listen.
on you now,
Wait, first
player.
of all, the first one that
Damn.
ever really broke the bank for him was the Cassie situation. And I like I keep telling people, I
Yeah,
don't
it
know
blew
if
shit out the
nobody
water.
paid
You're right.
attention. I don't know if nobody paid attention. When we did that episode, I said in that episode that I wouldn't be a bit surprised if the feds come after him for racketeering after that.
You might
They're
have to
going
go
to
find
get
it,
him.
P, and play it, boy. You might have to go find this.
I
Might have to
might
go
have
find
to,
them receipts. Cause we all the
cause
engineer. We do our own engineering and shit.
bruh. And then to turn
We all
around
do it.
a couple of months after we did that episode, with the matter of fact, within that month, the feds went and got him for the RICO charges.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
operate swiftly and think about it. Even though you didn't take it to trial, you basically pled guilty to the shit she accused you of by going ahead and making a settlement.
Yeah,
Because
fast too.
if you were not guilty of said allegations, you would have let it go to trial and fought it. Your chances of taking it to trial and fighting it is 50-50.
Yeah,
You
cause
got a
it's gonna look
50%
bad.
chance of
Cause you
winning.
a freak ass nigga, P did it, bruh. So that shit gonna look crazy.
Now,
Let's
how do
say if
you
you
explain that?
them
Right?
tapes look
Now, you
wow.
sitting up here saying that they selectively trying to prosecute you on something when you already basically pled guilty to the shit by paying 30 million. So there is no selective prosecution involved in this because you already admitted you did it. New term of the year. Admitted that you did it. You
Admit it
had
that you did it.
manslaughter,
Hey, bro.
all these wild ass parties, white
Mm-hmm.
parties, and jumping on a yacht. The only thing that might save you from some of that shit is the fact that, um, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
Sancho
yacht
Pay
parties,
is not
mansion
in the U.S.
parties. Mm-hmm.
Is
luncheons,
San Tropez
dinners,
a part of U.S. territory? Because if San
shopping.
Tropez is not part of U.S. territory, you might be able to get off on some of them sex trafficking charges, especially if San Tropez is not a part of U.S. territory. And remember, if some of this stuff happened while at sea and you were outside of U.S. territory, you might get off on some of that. But as far as the stuff you did
He's
in
trying
this
to get
country,
that
my
pulled.
nigga,
That's what he talking about getting pulled. Yeah, that's what he trying
yeah,
to
but
get pulled. He trying to get
you
trafficking pulled. Period. P. He won't.
nah, you can't get the trafficking pool, period, because you were trafficking
Hey, that's what
within
he said. So if you say he could get
you were
off on some of
trafficking
it,
within the country, right?
ain't
Now,
no
like I say,
ain't no if ain't no but ain't no gray area then, P. If he
there
can't
is a
pull it,
gray
then he
area.
can't pull it.
Look,
You could talk
there
about
is a
San
gray
Tropez
area.
and all that shit, bruh. But I'm
But
telling
that's
you,
what I'm
P.
saying. Like the Central
It's that
Pay
don't
stuff,
go
like
like
if
that, brother.
somebody makes
He gotta stay
right,
over there
but
then.
I'm
He gotta
saying
stay his
I'm
ass
saying this
over
though.
there.
The stuff that they
He
trying to
can't
catch
come
you up
back.
for is the stuff that they can catch you up for. And that's stuff
Yeah.
where you were within US jurisdiction.
Yes, because Central Pay would
And
have to arrest him, P. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He can't get that pulled because Central Pay never arrested him. The U.S. is trying to indict his ass. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Because even if he go
ah,
there, his ass got to come back to even get the charge of trafficking. You feel me? He
you
got to
gotta
come
fight,
his ass back into the. So that's what I'm saying. When you say he could get
you gotta
someone
deal with the
pulled,
trafficking the
no, no,
US
no.
trafficking charges first.
Yes, sir. Yeah, they think about it like
And
that,
that's
you
and
know.
that's within state to state, city to city.
Say that in the
Because
motherfucking city. That's
that's
right.
predominantly where a lot of his charges
Atlanta,
coming from.
Las Vegas,
New York.
Los Angeles, New York. And I think that's where them kids, that's where a lot of those civil suits are actually coming from, Pete. In New
New York.
York.
Yep.
Okay, now. So we gonna move on with this one. My next one is discretion, and this is one of his theories, Pete. So I want you to pay attention to what his theories is, knowing that now a Las Vegas used to be Las Vegas police, now a captain in Maui. Now a captain in Maui has been now pulled into some of these civil charges, Pete, and he could possibly be one of the people who were security when so said person had got raped. And she's also pulling in some other famous names that we know and some other infamous names that I'm going to point out in this. So the names y'all probably know already, or if you don't know already, trust me, you're gonna know when you hear them. But I paused it right quick to put in another one that people might not know, but y'all done heard a lot of the stories. So let's jump into this.
Allegedly covering for Diddy, perpetrating to be a California officer during, I guess, allegations. But again, can this be a smoking gun? Remember, my theory, this adds on a little to my theory. When I was saying, remember when Veggie said, I got a picture of the BMW. And I said, whoa, why would you have a camera? Because camera phones wasn't out back then in 96. Why would Veggie Jr., Reggie Wright Jr., head of Death Row Security, make it his business?
He wasn't supposed to be there, P.
To take a picture of the BMW
it's
after
96.
it was shot up.
Man,
Remember,
no
Frank Alexander said,
this the one where he was talking about the BMW that Pac got shot in.
Before the shooting.
Yeah, Pac shot.
And all of
it's
a sudden, after the two bicycle Las Vegas cops pulled him over, there was a shooting. With this new allegation against Puff, is this a smoking gun at Puff? With the connections of Veggie Jr. And guess who? Who's the missing person? Come on, y'all. Who's the third person that can link Veggie to these cops? You guessed it. George Kalisis. George Kalisis is a very powerful man in Vegas.
We're going to get real familiar with him
tied to
coming
these
up.
Cops. Remember, they was throwing an alleged boxing benefit for a retired cop. Some shit, some fugazi shit. Drop comments below. Yeah. New allegations against Puff, Las Vegas cop. Now he works in Hawaii. They want him to step down from his position in Hawaii as a cop. I guess he has a high rank. Y'all drop comments below and let me know. It's just my theory that this might be the smoking gun we need. This is just my theory. Let's play Frank Alexander's narrative real quick, how the two Las Vegas bicycle cops pulled him over before the shooting. Minutes before the shooting, I guess it was like at least the max 2 minutes, the next light of that.
Here you go, Pete.
Las Vegas bicycle cops pulled him over, the shooting happened.
Suge was in the
Here
car
you go,
in front of me, and their music was
Remember
playing pretty loud
you
and we could hear it. And there was bicycle cops. A couple of bicycle cops pulled up, and one of them went over to Suge's side and asked him, I guess, to turn down the music, I'm assuming. And then the next thing I know, Suge opens the door, steps out of the car. He and a cop walks to the back of the car, and he opens up the trunk. The car was brand new, didn't have a license plate on it. So he looked in the trunk, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm thinking, oh shit, I hope they don't get popped. He let him go. So now we're still in gridlock traffic.
The former Metro Police captain is refuting claims that
The whole watermelon, they ain't cutting.
Peaches, I'm trying to tell you, I know you remember some of this stuff. It ain't sound like none of this, though, huh?
When the shit first broke down, they never talked about them bicycle cops.
They never even want to talk to Frank.
Ain't that a bitch?
Frank was the head,
right?
the number one security behind Pop. All right, yeah. He was right behind him.
This the other thing.
Suge went to the trunk and everything.
Wait. I got a question.
Go ahead.
So Reggie Wright was the one that said he got a picture of the car, right?
Reggie admitted to Vlad TV in a later interview when Vlad brought up about that night. He gonna say, yeah, I got a picture in my phone if you want to. I got a picture of it in my phone if you want to see it.
Which is weird, right?
It gotta be. How you?
Nah. Check this out. They said that the car that pulled up alongside Tupac and Suge only fired 4 rounds into the car. How many markers did you see on the car?
Look like more than 4. Though. So that's something else we gonna have. That's something else we gonna have to dig into and see what they actually said. How many? Because that's another good observation, Pete. How many shots were actually shot into the car?
Because some of them were in the back seat, in the back door of the car, right? In the middle portion, and a couple was in the front on the side where Tupac was sitting at.
Yeah,
and
then say they almost got me. Yeah, he said I still got that motherfucker
then there was
in the back of my big ass neck.
Look, then there was one bullet that went into the windshield, right? Because you could look at the windshield and see that an actual shot had been fired.
I'm telling you, we gotta revisit. I'm telling you. See, you going off brain right now. You going off of what you seeing in your brain. But I'm telling you, P, we living in a goddamn Mandela effect or something though. Because I'm telling you, bro, a lot of this shit, how you remember, I'm gonna keep reminding you. This shit has changed, bro. Or new information have been coming up about what actually happened, P. I'm telling you, bro.
But just think about it. This is 25 years in the making.
So what does that mean, P? That you can't find nothing new? Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Yes. So you gotta put that into factor from what you remember. So everything you remember, don't throw it away, but put it on the side and make some clear your desk off for your new shit. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's all.
I'm gonna clear. With the whiteboard, I'm gonna clear the whiteboard.
How many bullets in there? I don't know what kind of car it is no more. Yeah, I don't know what kind of car it is no more. I don't know who was there. I don't know none of that shit. I want to hear all that shit over again. That's what I'm saying. That's what
Right.
I'm saying. I want
I
to hear
want to know
people's interviews. I want
what.
to hear the security guard
Tell me,
interviews. I want to hear everybody interviews and definitely we're gonna go over that on Blunt Talk, y'all. So definitely stay tuned
yeah,
because I got my dog P. Dot interested. So I know he definitely gonna stay with it.
because some of them interviews just seem like niggas was just making shit up as they went.
I'm trying to tell you, boy. Maybe he is, maybe he's
Maybe
not.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
But
maybe we've been
TBD,
told lies for 25 years. I don't know, man. That's what I'm trying to tell
or
you.
maybe he been the one telling the lies for the 25 years.
And for the 20, exactly. Who been telling lies for 25 years? There you go. All that's in there. All types of fuckery. All of it's in there. Because nobody even never mentioned Reggie. Now all of a sudden people are questioning the security, and it's a good fucking question to question the security. How did this guy actually roll up on the fucking side of y'all?
Especially
why nobody wasn't in that lane?
Still present in the area.
That was the same thing with the big thing. Why nobody wasn't in that lane to block off all lanes?
Exactly.
You got one behind you, one on the side of you, and one on the other fucking side. Right?
Which all that shit should have been blocked up. Shouldn't have nothing been
That's what
able
I'm trying
to
to
get
tell
in
you.
front.
How you get on this man's left side? I'm speaking just of the big shit specifically, but the Tupac situation too. Y'all was
Nobody should have been
behind
able to
Frank.
get
You was behind him. Yeah. You wasn't on
Y'all
the
should have
side
seen
of
the
him.
shit as the car was
They ain't
rolling
had
up.
nobody behind. Man, hey, P. I'm gonna keep it going, bro, because I don't want.
A white Cadillac at that? Big white Cadillac. You mean to tell me
it's gonna be a
you
whole
can't
nother
see?
segment, though.
These motherfuckers got me.
Let's get it though. Let's get it though. Keith D said I wasn't even there. Y'all gonna have to pinpoint put me there now, since y'all listening to me and shit. Cause I'm the one told y'all I was there. And the police, it's me and the police said I was there, right? Y'all didn't have nobody before I came out and said, yeah, it was me when the police had me. Cause I was already in jail. Keith D was already in jail. You see what I'm saying?
Talking about
none of that shit was out. None of that shit was. Yeah, take the rap for Tupac dead. None of that shit was. Nobody even knew about that fucking man. Then all of a sudden, oh, okay, yeah, is this, is that? Yeah, we knew you was the uncle and who killed. Okay, why? Orlando, I forgot his damn last name. The dude he supposed to had the where they had beat up and shit, and MGM. I forgot his last fucking name. Like Orlando, the gang member.
I think his name was Jenkins. Orlando Jenkins.
Something like that. But here we go, P. I ain't gonna hold you. Here we go.
Let him go. So now we're still in gridlock traffic.
The former Metro Police captain is refuting claims that he was involved in a cover-up related to Sean Diddy Combs. In a criminal complaint, it alleges that current Maui Police Chief John Pelletier was hired to provide security for Combs back in 2018. It claims Pelletier posed as a sheriff's deputy in California to respond to an alleged gang rape involving Combs. The complaint also claims all defendants directly committed violations of aiding, abetting, and inducing the sex trafficking venture and sex trafficking of plaintiffs in this suit. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Snyder.
Right,
Marie
Pete.
has the night off. News George Acosta is looking into Pelletier's time here in Las Vegas and what he's accused of doing while he was employed with the Metro Police Department. George joins us now live from Metro headquarters with that.
We got Jim. A look back at his history here with the department shows that he was actually praised for his dedication to sexual assault prevention, which may be surprising for some given the allegations of this lawsuit.
My name is John Pelletier. I'm a captain with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. I oversee the Major Violator and Narcotics Bureau.
Pelletier, a veteran to the Las Vegas Police Department, served the metropolitan area for 22 years, where after climbing up the ranks, he became captain.
22 years? How long this shit been going on, Peter?
A look back at a major case in 2018 shows Pelletier was one of several high-profile Metro police officers to initiate the arrest of nearly a dozen gang members at a local resort and casino.
People went to jail, and the strip's safer for it. The real message is we're not going to tolerate that kind of activity coming here on the strip. And what do I mean by that is gang parties are not welcome on the strip.
And while Pelletier was on the side of justice during those 2018 arrests, the latest lawsuit filed Friday alleges Pelletier's 2018 involvement with Sean Diddy Combs, claiming Pelletier as a co-conspirator to a cover-up relating to a gang rape that involved Combs, where Pelletier allegedly posed as a sheriff in Contra Costa, California. Now, Pelletier was named Maui's police chief back in 2021. Now, a statement issued by the Maui Police Department denies those allegations, as well as his involvement with any of those people named in this lawsuit. But for now, reporting live from Metro Headquarters, Georgia Costa News.
Man, they said it was you, Round, specifically. They went and got you way from Maui to see. They could have picked the motherfucker right there in Chicago, Pete, but they went way. They got his ass way out of a captain in Maui.
Maui, Hawaii.
And said, "Bring your ass here, boy." Like DC Young Fly. They said it was you, player. Me? Yeah, you.
Think about it. That's what happens when you do what? You align yourself. Put yourself on that block and say, "Hey, I'll be security for you."
Sound like Reggie.
I'll be your security. Yeah. How much you willing to pay me? All right. Yeah. And I'm a captain of the police too. Who gonna suspect me? Look where it done fell at now. Done fell right in your fucking lap now. Cause who's to say you knew? And then again, if you are in gridlock traffic, how does the assailant get the opportunity to pull the fuck up on side you if you in gridlock traffic? Meaning the car that was on side of Tupac and Suge wasn't there. There was no other car in the lane, which means your ass should have been right there. Right? That way that Cadillac would have never got on side.
It would have never got on. It would have been behind you. Yeah.
Right. It'd have been behind you. Now, let's talk into the Diddy thing. This man was personal security hired by Sean Combs and his record label to provide allegedly provide security by way of using the Los Angeles Police Department for security.
How they found that nigga in Maui though?
It's easy. Once you say you retiring and you go, look, I'm retiring from.
But why they didn't just get no? Like if it was just made up, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like if it just made up, why you just didn't get nobody from Las Vegas or some place close to where the shit happened at? Where it would kind of make a little more sense.
Was on the police force at the time.
But when they said he was a Las Vegas police, that's when my motherfucking antenna started raising. Because that would tie him into the years from when Tupac got shot.
That's right. That is exactly right. That's why I said what I said about who's to say you weren't the one who ordered those two bicycle cops to stop that car.
His ass could have possibly been that bicycle cop because remember, they say he had just started the force and shit, so he probably was on some bicycle. He probably, I don't know, P. It raises questions, bro.
I don't see how you start the force as a captain, though.
No, he's a captain in Maui. No, he wasn't a captain in Las Vegas. He was a regular police in Vegas. He just became a captain. He left all that behind, P. He was a regular old Las Vegas police and probably was on the bike, like I'm saying, but I don't know his beginnings. That was something we would probably have to look into with his with just looking him up, period, to see how he got started and shit. But yeah, he was a Las Vegas police. That's how they tying him to Round. Oh, the civil suit is tying him to Round. Oh, we about to get into it. I told you, bro. Man,
The
this
rabbit
is some of
hole
the
has
pieces.
opened.
Yes, in the puzzle pieces. The puzzle pieces with how you could get away with a lot of stuff. Remember, we always ask this, right? Like, damn, how y'all be moving like and nobody don't be knowing and all this shit. Somebody done finally tied something in where it could possibly be one of those things where we have a missing puzzle piece to how people are actually getting away with this. And it's through, people obliging. It's people going along with the show, getting paid off to be quiet, and all kind of shit, Pete. And a lot of people don't want to believe that part because, everybody got so much morals, right? But look what's going on, dog. So, yeah, bro, I'm gonna keep it pushing. Here we go.
Police chief, a famous football player, and a comedian are among the high-profile men accused in a civil lawsuit of participating in or facilitating crimes alongside Sean Diddy Combs. The chief and others say it's not true. But now Maui's mayor is asking the police commission to place the chief on leave while it's being investigated. Gina Mangieri
Maui don't play that shit, Pete. You heard that?
Rapper Sean Diddy Combs is in custody awaiting federal criminal trial on racketeering and sex trafficking charges. And now a civil lawsuit filed in federal court in California alleges current Maui police chief John Pelletier served as security and facilitator for Combs, sometimes impersonating law enforcement jurisdictions. A nearly 90-page lawsuit accuses John Pelletier of serving as muscle for Sean Diddy Combs in California and Las Vegas, several years before Pelletier left Las Vegas to become Maui County Chief of Police. The same suit accuses NFL player Odell Beckham Jr. and a comedian known as Drewski of rape. We asked the Chief County Police Commissioner to become Maui County Chief of Police. The same suit accuses NFL player Odell Beckham
and Drewski. Okay. Look, do y'all see some familiar names that does not blurred in? Jacqueline Wright, aka Jaguar Wright, who's been coming out speaking about the celebrities.
Jr. and a comedian known as Drewski of rape. We asked the Chief, County, Police Commission, and Police Union for a response. A Maui Police Department spokesperson says the chief has no connection to anyone in the suit. We are confident that the evidence will demonstrate these claims to be false and will expose those who are deliberately trying to manipulate the legal system to spread misleading narratives. The union declined to comment. We asked the plaintiff's attorney for additional comment too, without reply. Beckham Jr. said on his social media, "I really can't even believe that my name is mentioned in that matter. There is absolutely no truth to those allegations." Drewski said on social media, "This allegation is a fabricated lie. I was broke living with my mom without any connections to the entertainment industry at the time of this allegation. So the inclusion of my name is truly outlandish." KHON2's legal analyst explains why high-profile people can be targeted by lawsuits.
It's not uncommon at all for high-profile people to be named, especially be named as a large group of defendants in this kind of lawsuit. And the reason why is because when you're sitting at a very high level in the government, whether you're the police chief or a mayor or the governor of a state, it's very easy to be targeted because then that potentially opens up the finances and the wallet.
The accusations date back to 2018 when Pelletier was still on the mainland with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. He is accused, among other things, of posing as a Contra Costa California sheriff in order to deter a woman from filing a rape charge.
I think the thing about high-profile people is that they do have a strong presence in terms of anybody being able to Google or determine whether or not somebody is actually in the vicinity and then accuse them of doing something because they were in that location. Again, we don't know. Maybe these specific allegations are true, but the best thing to do is to wait for the lawsuit to play out and find out whether they are true.
Contra County.
I'm bringing the smoke, P. I know you gotta hit that shit. It's just, man.
I'm saying,
They got
Now think
allegations
about
on his ass too.
90 motherfucking
And Maui
pages,
said, "Hey,
nigga.
bruh, y'all need to just take this motherfucker. He got something to do with what? Yeah, he did come from Vegas and shit. We don't really know that motherfucker, man. Yeah, let him. Damn, dog.
90
Maui said
pages.
we don't want nothing to, but I ain't gonna lie, Maui do not play that shit, bruh. Them Hawaiian shit, they try to keep some type of discipline in the area, bruh, when it comes to stuff like that, especially sex trafficking, child trafficking, fucking with the environment, like the ocean waters, and man, you has to be in jail playing with the people out there with that shit. They take pride in that shit. So
that's right.
Once they heard they police captain, we just made you captain, motherfucker. You doing with what? Wait, huh?
Not captain. Not captain.
Diddy.
He was the chief of police over there. He was the captain over here. That's what I was telling you. He was the captain of the police over here.
He became a captain over here, and he was the police chief in Maui. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Man.
He was a captain at the time the Tupac shit went down. And he retired sometime later and then went to Maui and became police chief over there.
I ain't hear all that.
In one of your earlier parts of the segment, they said he was a captain.
Yeah, they did. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
He was a captain.
We'll figure it out. I don't want to go back and forth with you.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out. But
it
really doesn't matter at this point. But I'm trying to figure out.
Hey, bro, listen. Diddy got some charges on him, but nigga, you got 90 pages of indictment charges on you. What the fuck?
He did say, man, throw all that shit away, man. He didn't say throw that shit away.
You can't wash that away. That's 90 pages, nigga.
I ain't trafficking, I'm escorting. That's what he said. And I'm a black man. And how dare y'all interrupt me and my white women and my white men? I'm sorry.
My white everything.
I mean, hey, he said he's using the act.
White party.
I don't know. He was using the act.
In the room having an all-white party.
Yeah. Obviously, they was white because he said he was using the White Slave Act. And that's crazy to call it that. It made it seem like Jack Johnson was moving white slaves. Why would they call white people slaves back then if they were so superior and full of pride? And I don't know. Maybe I'm
looking at the godlike abilities of a black man physically.
Damn. They would never admit that. That's why they tried to get him.
Yeah, they don't want to admit that. But
this is my last one, bro. And I'm going to let you rock.
Nigga was...
I'm coming in on the finish line on you.
And we don't know. Maybe these specific allegations are true, but the best thing to do is to wait for the lawsuit to play out and find out whether they are true or completely false.
Other unnamed plaintiffs alleged Pelletier arrested them at gunpoint in Las Vegas under bogus warrant charges and restrained them in his home. They allege Pelletier kept a list of safe houses for parties. The lawsuit involving Pelletier is a civil matter. Combs' case is criminal, involving sex trafficking, plus numerous civil lawsuits.
There's a difference between a civil case, which is one person suing another person for money, versus a criminal case, which would be the government investigating somebody and then accusing that person of a crime.
Now, again, the chief strongly denies all the allegations in the suit. His spokesperson says the baseless allegations not only hurt him, but show a lack of respect for victims of abuse. Now, it was just minutes before airtime when we received this letter from the mayor calling for the Maui Police Commission to take additional what they call proactive steps to conduct an independent review and to place the chief on leave while this was reviewed. We have asked the chief for an additional response to this. Again, this having just been received. Also, it was addressed as well to the Maui Police Commission. The mayor saying in the calling for this that due process must be observed and the existence of these allegations alone present concerns for the public trust, and goes on to say that they believe that the approach would not constitute a presumption of guilt, but instead make sure that they're not compromising the integrity of the office while the matter is under review. Much more to come in this story, and we will continue to follow up.
It done
Gina
got real,
Mangieri.
P. See what I'm saying? It done got real, bro. Maui said, man, the mayor
sent the letter to Maui. The mayor
I passed the torch too, bro. You can jump into your segment when you finish yours.
That's it. That was it. Because everything you had, I had.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah, we can end it off then.
Wait. Let me double check myself right quick. But I want to say this first. The mayor of the place where the allegations, which is where he used to work, right? Where this man they talking about used to work. The mayor of that city sent a letter to the Maui Police Commission asking for them to make him step down so that they should be able to form an independent investigation of him while being police commissioner over there or police chief over there, which means they got him. Because ain't no way 90-page indictment or 90-page allegation and none of that shit true. Nah, dog. And then for the mayor,
he don't want to lose his job. He definitely don't want to lose his job. He definitely came out with a statement. Yeah, he came out with a little statement. I ain't know if you had that or not, but you told me already. But yeah, but I would have had that lined up as well. So he did make a little statement too, Pete, and he's basically saying what the lady said. You know, he's denying everything, and it's absurd. And yeah.
Wait, let me see. Oh, so yeah, the only two pieces I had was that was relatable was about the stuff that dealt with Tupac and the Keefe D situation and what he was talking about with his lawyer as far as the Tupac situation. And Suge having something to say about why would Snoop have a walkie-talkie unless he got it. The only way Snoop would have a walkie-talkie would be from the security detail, which would only come from Reggie, and that Reggie and him got to have a sit-down conversation about why Snoop would have had access to that radio. And the other one was a lawyer that they were talking to that was giving his interpretation of what Keefe D was saying and, you know, what the possible outcome about that stuff was. That was all I had on that. But I'm gonna try to hold on to that stuff there for the Tupac situation whenever we get ready to cover that. It, you know,
yeah,
bro,
cool,
they got
cool.
so many
Give me your final thoughts then, P. Yeah, just give me your final thoughts on that. We'll shut it down, player.
And I'm gonna say this. My final thoughts go to this: ladies, keep a check on your children, especially when you dealing with a man that ain't their daddy, because at any given moment, the disrespect will cause that man to walk out your life and their life. That's number one. With the in other news stuff that you presented that led up to the stuff with Tupac and the stuff that's going with Diddy. All these different interviews that all these people keep giving, y'all giving them the evidence they need to hang your asses with. Furthermore, a lot of y'all lying about shit in these interviews because your story changed from interview to interview to interview because everybody want to talk to you because you were the main person. But a lot of y'all have conflicting stories with what's happening. So if you weren't there and you know you weren't there, then you shouldn't have nothing to say about the situation, period, right? That's like me and my two brothers. If I get popped, I know my brothers, if they was there, they gonna tell the truth about what happened and what they saw and what they know.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I know my brothers gonna do that. But if they weren't there, they'll never really be able to fully give you anything other than my brother, he's not the type of person that would go out and seek that type of conflict.
Yeah. And who said I'm gonna talk to your ass anyway about anything was going on with my people any fucking way, motherfucker, whoever you is.
Right. But even if it was the case like that, you know, I know my brothers would be able to say that man wasn't out there like y'all trying to paint him to be. You see what I'm saying? Because everybody who know me know I'm not. So that's just stuff like that. Them two things right there, man. If you weren't there, don't speak on it. You know, you have no business. How Louis Farrakhan told one of them interviewers, you have no moral standpoint. You have no moral ground to stand on and ask me anything about it.
There it is. Because
So
I mean,
just
that's a
know
good
that.
point. Definitely a good point, Pete. I
Yeah,
mean, just
man.
like you said, though, you know. But I know somebody who was there.
Right.
The person who died and the person who survived, and it was two people in that car. So if I'm gonna listen to anybody,
it's gonna be the one that lives.
Might be Suge Knight. I might hear him out. Cause I done heard y'all say all y'all the interviews that wasn't there, like you said, P. I done heard y'all's side. Now let me actually listen to the person who was actually there, huh? What do you think?
I think that's the best thing you can do.
You know what I mean? So I'm gonna let that simmer in the people's brain while we bring that forth. You know, definitely with the situation with your other news, man. It's definitely a responsibility with the mother looking at that situation the way she looked at it. If she can't step up to understand that it's more of your responsibility than his, even though he's taking the role of a man, then you're misunderstanding what a stepdad is, what a stepfather is, and how you play the role of a mother of your two boys with this man stepping in and instilling in him what they have, instilling in them what he have, you know, to share. And for him to explode like that, it shows that he has also given up too. And you know what I'm saying? I think they should definitely separate, and the mom needs to get counseling with them little boys and shit, because they
And
definitely gonna
reevaluate
be
herself.
in prison or doing something they ain't got no business, or learning from one of us that they not as hard as they think they is. So putting everything online and all that, the way she did that, you know, taking advantage of these emotional moments like that, yeah, it's gonna get your followers and get your likes and all that. Cute. But you're gonna lose your family in the process. This is how the devil works. You gotta let him in. And once you let him in, he gonna give you what you want, but it's coming as a price. Yeah. So deal with that one, player. And as we do,
right about this time, tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody. Like, subscribe, and share. Jump in them comments. Always remember this too, folks. I put the link in the top of the comments. So if you ever want to get brought up on stage, remember, create your username to protect your identity. If you don't want to be seen, turn that camera on, follow the prompt on the link, and join the stage so you can give us your input about what we're talking about. Again, like, subscribe, and share, tell somebody, tell somebody, tell somebody. And just bear in mind, this is just our interpretation of what we think is the situation. So,
yeah,
you
we
know,
break it to y'all.
we're
We
not saying
definitely bring
anything
it to
is
y'all.
word of law, but we be damn near right there at it.
It ain't my words, it's their words. So
How your
how
boy
can you blame me?
You don't have to take my word for it.
Listen,
Ooh,
I'm trying to tell you. So I'm gonna leave y'all with some wise words from Brother Steve Coakley, and we out this motherfucker. We love y'all.
Attack someone you can't reach, but protect the one who is hidden by paying other people to misdirect the real attack system. See, we get confused about the attack. We don't know sometimes when you're being given something, you're being attacked. It might be that weakens your resistance to further attack. It could be money. In the church, attacks are usually led about rumor. In the church, a rumor is a powerful commodity, much more powerful than fact, because you've got a speculation science. So in that arena, fact is not an argument. Rumor, speculation, the pastor sleeping with Billy Joe mama, can ruin a man instantaneously. In politics, it might be a different type of ingredient. But the knowledge of it is that every mode of leadership has a vein of attack. And so in the religious community, it may be innuendo and rumor. In the political